Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, B.C. Clark.
Welcome to the Business Connection. I'm your host, B.C. Clark. As you know, I interview business owners across the state, some out of state as well. But today my guest is Doris Moore, and she has a lot of letters behind her name. So I'm going to let her give us a little knowledge on who she is, and then we're going to talk about her business.
Okay. Thank you, BC, and thank you for having me. Well, I am Doris Moore, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Center for Holistic Development. We are a community-based behavioral health organization. So the letters that you're talking about behind my name are, I have a master's in community counseling. I am a licensed professional counselor, a licensed independent professional counselor, certified professional counselor, and I am a member of the National Certified Counseling Organization.
See?
So those are my letters.
Those are the letters.
And I paid for all of them.
Yes. and you do very well.
Thank you.
I wanted Doris on because she and I have been trying to get together for a while, but I know that the work she does is really impactful to the community. And I also know that she's been doing it for a long time, and a lot of lives have been changed because of the work that she does at the Holistic Center. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go on in and talk a little bit about the services and benefits that you provide.
Okay. As a licensed behavioral health counselor, that I actually started this in about 1996. And so one of the things that really challenged me is I tell people that I did not like working with people just in crisis. And so to me, when people are in crisis and they come to you, once the crisis is abated, then they go back to living their life the same way that they were.
Yeah.
And it's really important to me that we help people understand how they got to that place. And so our tagline for the Center for Holistic Development is change your thinking, change your life.
Yes.
And so those are the kinds of things that we try to do at the organization, really starting with working with our parents. We work with parents, we work with youth, we work with children in child care centers, we work with foster care. So we work across the gambit of whatever impacts people's lives. We are the organization that tries to help them to move their life in a more positive direction.
And I think you also do a lot of that with education, right? A lot of mentoring and stuff to get them, because that's how they can renew their mind. Because a lot of times they don't know, right?
No, they don't.
They don't.
If you don't know better, you can't do better.
You can't do, exactly.
And so that's one of the things that we recognize. And so we work not only with what we call intervention, which means that people are in their crisis, but we work with prevention. And so we try to stop things before they happen, because we have some good information on some things that are more helpful than others. Right. We do education, as you said. We do programs with our youth. We have a program called Urban Youth Bolt, which is building our leaders today. Wow. We are the only program that was asked to be a diversion program for our young Black males and females who get into trouble with the law, but if they take our diversion program, they don't have to get further into the juvenile justice system.
And that's great.
That's important.
That's very important, because just to take them and put them somewhere in a detention or whatever, that doesn't help them.
Yeah.
Because there's no education there, there's no mentoring there. Yeah. But to be able to go to a program, diversion program, where they can learn tools and things that they can use
to be successful.
100%. And then,
percent.
right. And I think that that's what's so incredible about your organization, is that it's not that you're there for crisis. You're there to help to prevent the crisis.
Right.
But you do that by mentoring ahead of time, by giving them information they need, the tools they need
Yes.
to be able to function,
Yes.
even in situations where they wouldn't have that information.
Exactly.
So, and I think that's really impactful.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that makes us different, and I tell people, my website is www.chdOmaha.org, but on that website you will see that for us, holistic behavioral health care really involves what I call a special approach. And so that special approach incorporates the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, the economic, the cultural, intellectual, association, and love for self and others.
That's
and
everything.
so we encompass that
So the
as,
whole
as a
body.
wellness approach. Exactly. And so
balance.
that's what we try to do.
And that's amazing because, yeah, you're right. You can go this place and get something. You can go over here and get something over here. But when you can go to one place and you're with those providers that whole time going through all of that, then they're more likely to come back to you
Exactly.
if they find themselves easing over into that life again. They'll come back to where they got that
And they
service from.
do. I tell people all the time, that's really how our business has grown.
Yes.
It's been by word of mouth. It's been networks. When we do a graduation program for our Urban Youth Bolt young people, we tell them that they're part of the family now.
Yes.
So if they're struggling with anything,
gonna
give
come
us
back
a
to the
call.
family. Yes.
Exactly. And
Yes.
we'll make sure that we figure out how to best help them with whatever they're going through. Or parents, right now, I think we're really challenged, especially after COVID,
Parents,
on the parenting piece. And so we have a parenting program that really engages conversation, not to make parents feel bad,
No.
but to help them understand that parenting is the hardest job you'll ever have without an instruction
Don't we know
book.
that?
Yes, exactly. And so we continue to try to pour into parents and help them understand that you have to take care of yourself so that you're better able to take care of your
kid.
children.
Yes, and I think that that's the one key too, because let's face it, our kids today, they face challenges that we never had to. I
Very much so.
mean, we were all teenagers at one time,
Right.
but the things that are available to them today
Right.
was not available to us when we're glad.
Yeah.
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 But then, our parents were parents that, would throw a brush or shoe at us to make sure we heard what they were saying and make sure we brought it back to them to make sure we got
Exactly.
it in their face. And they didn't mind sparing the rod.
Right. And they and again, the parents did the best that they could
With
with
what
the
they-
information
what
that
they
they
had.
had.
Exactly.
And so as you get new information or
Then you
better
can
ways
apply
to
that.
do things,
Then
then
you
that's
can
what
apply
we're
that.
about helping parents do, because we want young people to be successful.
Yes.
And we know that their first teachers are their
the
parents.
parents.
And so
Yes.
if we can help to change that environment and help parents understand that you have to have some rules, you have to do some
Yeah.
consequences. Those are things that are
You can't be
necessary.
friends.
Exactly. but do it in a loving
In a
way,
loving way.
so that your young people understand that, if I'm struggling with something, I can go to my parent.
Yes.
And ask them and
Yes.
help and have them help me through that. So, we do a lot of that. We actually have a mentoring program for young adults, and it's called Grand Friends. And so Grand Friends really looks at those people aged 19 to 30, because they go through so many transitions during that period of time.
Yes, they do.
That
Yes.
if they can have an adult, a seasoned adult, is what we say,
Yes.
that can come alongside of them.
I should be
that's
in that program.
non-judgmental. Yeah. Well, we're looking for some seasoned adults to help them all right now.
Yeah.
But when people can walk alongside of you,
Yeah.
be non-judgmental, have that
And that's
listening
important.
ear.
Because,
exactly.
there's the thing that and I think people don't realize this, because we forget that we were young once.
yeah.
And we thought a certain way, and our parents were like, no, and we
Right.
thought that they were just, they don't know any better. But, they had to get to where they
Yeah,
are. And
exactly.
a lot of times we don't think about that. But I don't like when I hear adults saying, about teens, they're crazy, they're on drugs, they're this, that, and the other. You don't really know that.
No.
And have you stopped and listened at what they were saying?
And listen, period.
And listen, yeah, it's
You know,
exactly,
yeah,
yeah,
you know.
because they don't. you know, that, well, just take this $10 and go to the mall.
Right.
It has to be 50 now, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we want them to go away,
Right.
but they want our attention.
Right.
They need our attention.
Well, and you know, how do you keep the population going if you're wanting to get rid of people?
Yes.
You know, this is the cycle. This is, you know, the evolution of life is about making sure that, you know, a long time ago, we wanted our children to do better than we are doing.
We still want
And,
that.
well, but you know, statistics shows that it's not happening.
not happening.
And so we have to look at that and say, okay, how am I contributing to that?
Yes.
You know, am I helping young people? Am I helping parents? Am I helping seasoned people?
Yes.
You know, everybody needs
You're
help
right.
at some point in their life. And
Right.
so,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
no,
we as an organization are there for that.
for that, yeah. You know, and that's true, what you said, because I think a lot of times, how can they help their kids be better if they're struggling
Right.
themselves? And I do see, you know, a lot, even business owners that are coming, you know, I want to leave something for my kids.
Right.
And I want to do a legacy, and, you know, but I didn't have an example. And I said, this is a great time to start.
Exactly.
You know, this is a great time to start.
Exactly.
You know, starting a business, you learning what you need to know to run that business and being able to then impart that into them.
Right.
So I do see a lot of that. And, you know, and so that's a good thing. And then I can, you know, if I see them struggling, then I have a place where I can
Right.
refer them to.
Yes.
You know, go to CHD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they can help you get through whatever this is you're dealing with, because you guys treat the whole family.
Yeah, we treat the
You know,
entire family.
yeah,
And yeah, I one of the things that I would tell my clients is, I don't want you to be in my office and come into therapy for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I want you to learn some skills and some strategies so you can go live your life
Right.
and move from just surviving to thriving.
Yes.
And we can do that.
Yeah.
You know, we as Black people particularly have a history of being able to move beyond our current circumstances.
mercy.
And so we have to keep that legacy
Even
going.
if we look back at slavery,
Oh, yeah.
we can see somebody back there that we can
Yes.
attach to,
Right.
and say, you know, this is what I need to do. And it's funny you said that, because I remember reading the story about Biddy Mason, and her name was Bridget, and they called her Bridget Mason. And this was in the 1800s. She was a slave for a Mormon family, but it wasn't just her. It was like probably about 50 people that was in her entourage of slaves, just mostly women and children. And when they left her, and I'm just going to tell this story real quick because I think it's really important. Anyway, and I hadn't started my business yet, so this was like in 19-something when I read her story. She, being a slave in the 1800s, 1861 or whatever, anyway, the slave owner decided to move to California. Well, you know, in California at that time, slaves were free.
Right.
And he probably didn't realize that. But once he got there, they were there for a while, and he realized that he didn't have control
Right.
over the slaves there. So Biddy had made, you know, friends with a lot of people that could go to court, a lot of white people that really liked her and everything. And so she had them go to court and petition for her to become free, and all the people with her.
Wow.
So when I read her story, it gave me such inspiration.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was like, if she did it
Yes.
back in 1800,
Yeah.
why are we talking about we can't start a business?
Yeah. And
So that's what propelled me.
And that's really important, because one of the things with, especially our Urban Youth Vote program, is we talk about African and Black history.
Yes.
Because we want our young people to understand that we come from kings and queens.
Yes, we did.
And our lives did not start once we were drugged to America.
That's right. That's right. And that's what
You
it
know,
was.
But even when we got to America,
We did
we
what
were
we could
able
do.
to use our skills and talents
We were.
to pull ourselves up the best we could
And out.
with where we were. Exactly.
exactly.
And so that is so important for our young people to
Yes.
understand. And our
I
older
try to
people.
tell that story
Yeah.
as often as I can, because this lady went on, if you read her story, she went on, she created a school. She became the first Black business owner.
Yeah.
She became a millionaire
Yeah.
in her own rights,
Yeah.
building, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, I was like, there's nothing that we can't do in
Nope.
this century.
We have an
When
amazing history.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and even now I see they're bringing more of the history back. I just saw another family
Well,
that was
in
on.
some areas, there's a push to get rid of some
Yeah,
history.
I know. Yeah, I know. But you know what though? As long as we keep it alive, it's not going anywhere.
And that's what we have to do. We have to take ownership of that.
We have to take ownership of that. I'm so excited that I'm finding out more about the center. And tell me a little more about how does one get in touch with the center? Like if someone, you know, so for me, I want to refer people, right, in the business that I do.
Right.
And just that I see that they're struggling with some things and maybe there's some issues that they may need to work through. Do I just call you up or do I?
Yeah, you know, we have our website. It's www.chdOmaha.org. And so if people are interested, our phone number is listed there. They would just call the office. We get them in touch with the appropriate people who can help them with whatever their concern is. And we kind of go from there.
Okay.
The other thing that we have coming up is our annual gala, which is our fundraising gala, which will be July 25th. And that's
it's this month, yeah.
It's this month, yes.
Okay.
And we're looking for people that are interested in supporting and donating to our cause.
Okay.
Because all of the money gets turned around. We're a nonprofit,
into the programs.
501c3, so it goes back into the program.
Yes.
And so that information about our events is on our website as well. And so people can get information about how they can attend. We are looking for sponsors as well. And then the beauty of what we also try to do.
Vendors? There's no vendors at that.
There won't be vendors there, but we do have sponsors. We'll have a
Okay.
program book. So depending on the sponsorship level, we will be able to put that information in the book so that people can have that.
Okay.
And then the next day, the 26th, because I'm very concerned about making sure that licensed behavioral health professionals do one of two things. The community recognizes that we are out here.
Yes.
We are serving people.
Yes, yes.
And we have an approach to working with people of color that may be, you know, dissimilar to other people that are doing the work.
Right.
So we have a conference where we're featuring 3 people of color that are professional behavioral health professionals.
Okay.
And so one particular person is Latino. We have a Native American person.
I love it.
And then we have an African American
love that.
person that will all be doing their
They can all relate.
presentation.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
And
I need to find out more about that so I can make sure I get it to the Hispanic Chamber.
yeah, that's on our website.
Okay.
And then I think the other thing that I'd like people to know is this year we have a theme for all of our, we call it Dare to Believe events. And so the theme this year is hope in the midst of trauma, because we have been so traumatized as individuals in the community, especially post-pandemic.
Yes.
That's when we saw the increases of people that are struggling, and that struggle continues.
It continues.
And so we want to try to help people the best we can.
The weather has caused some people some
there's
tremendous impact as well. And
exactly. And that's
there
trauma.
is a lot going on. Yeah, that is trauma. Yes.
So.
Yeah, and I think that we have to remember too that everybody is not happy-go-lucky at this time in our lives. You know, there's a lot going on all over the place, and politically and otherwise. But I think that we have to take care of ourselves. Right. And that's the bottom dollar right there for me, is that, you know, if you're finding yourself, I just saw something just recently talking about adults and ADHD. And, you know, sometimes I've said to myself, like, okay, I started that, now I've jumped over here and I've jumped there. Could that be, you know, I'm not claiming anything, but I think that that's really important that people realize that that does exist.
It does exist, and one of the other things that we offer is on our website, we have behavioral health assessments that people can take for themselves. So if you really want to know if you're struggling with clinical depression or ADHD or bipolar or
whatever,
you know, any anxiety, anything that you're thinking that you might be struggling with, you can go out there, you take the test. I don't get to know anybody's name, it's totally anonymous. But at least you go from a position of knowing what I'm struggling with and then determining if I need to go somewhere else to make sure that I'm getting the help that I need. So that's been available. That's available any 24/7.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that people know that. So the website
the Center for Holistic
Development. Okay. So it's www.chdOmaha, C like cat, H like home, D like David, Omaha.org. You can go to that website. You can find out they have assessments out there. So if you're thinking that, oh, maybe I have bipolar or maybe I'm ADHD as an adult and you're afraid to, you know, you don't have to be afraid. This is so, like, it's anonymous. So go out and take the test. Again,
And children and youth can take it as well.
children and youth can take it as well. So even if you think that one of your kids are one way or the other, have them go out and take the test, you know, while you're there with them. Because the best thing that you can do for them is get the help that they need. And if you have an idea of what that is, then you know where to go. A lot of that is done right there at the Holistic Center. So it's the Center for Holistic Development, okay? CHDOmaha.org. Go to the website and get the information you need so that you can not have to wonder anymore. Like me, I'm going myself. So, and then the events. This is very important to sponsors out there, those people who who believe in this type of work. We would love for you to go to the website as well. Is there a donate button on the website?
Yes, there is a donate button.
So they're having a gala. If you would like to be a sponsor, you want to go to that website. I want to say it again, C for center, H for holistic, D for development, CHDOmaha.org. Okay, you can find out all the information that you would need to know at that website. And what's your phone number? They can call a number.
Our phone number is 402-502-9788.
9788. So I've given you the information. These are tools that we're saying right now. This is a tool where you can go and find out tremendous information that can help you better not only yourself but your entire family. The Holistic Center treats the entire family so that we have wellness for the whole family, not just one part of it. Because if the parents are having issues, the kids have issues. If the kids have issues, the parents have issues. So you want to go and get the information you need so you can take care of the entire family. And I just want to make sure that you know what that is. So the gala is July 25th. And where is it being held?
It's going to be held at the DC Center.
At the DC Center. So July 25th, the DC Center. What time does it start?
Starts at 6 o'clock.
6 p.m. to...
Probably about 8:30, 9:30. We have a band that's going to be there called Soul Change, so
Soul
they'll
Change,
be playing a little bit.
All right.
We have 3 people that we're giving awards to, community awards. So we have a partnership award, an advocate award, and one of the awards that I'm most proud of is a B.J. Nellum Lighthouse Award. And this year we're giving it to, you know, a teenager.
Oh,
because
awesome.
I don't know if many of you saw on KETV, they had a teen summit.
Yep, I saw that.
And there was a young lady named Braylon Hill.
Yes.
Who was on there. I was blown away.
With, she was so.
She will be awarded
That
the B.J.
is
Nellum
amazing.
Lighthouse Award.
I got chills. That's so. When I watched her, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
She's gonna be president.
Well, and you know, and we have to make sure that we give credit to her parents.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So they will all be there at
That's
the event
amazing.
because and our MC for the event is Quinicia Fraser from Channel 7.
I love her.
So she was the one of the people that was
she was interviewing.
moderating that.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
So it's going to be a great event.
I love that.
Great food. Great company, and we are asking for donations to help support the work that we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And because that work is expensive.
Yes.
You know, you're spending hours and you're changing lives.
Yes.
So just think about this for a moment. Someone is going to this center that has, you know, whatever problem, whether it's depression, whatever that might be, but it's impacting the family. So once that person gets to the point where they can renew their mind and get the help they need, then they can bring the whole family in. Now what that does, now we're talking about moving the needle, that's when the needle begins to move, because now we've got the whole family getting help. So now we can see this family now becoming more normalized, right? So people are going to be going to work, getting jobs, starting businesses. And that's what we need in our family. So just think of all the number and the many families out there that have run into problems, you know, can't keep a job because mentally they're just having a lot of issues. So let's get them to the Center for Holistic Development so that they can get the help that they need. And you do that by keeping the center going by making donations, because it doesn't run on water.
No, it does not.
And we need to make sure that the people that are there, they're qualified, so you have to pay them. So we need to have people to donate so that we can change our community. And so that's my ask for all of the sponsors out there that are looking for a place to put their money, because you're the ones who have it. So this is a place that can change communities, not just one person, but a whole
right.
community of people. So we're asking, that's our ask from the Business Connection.
Yes.
So talk a little bit more about, and I love that. So in your youth program, let's talk a couple of minutes, just a minute or so, about youth that come in and how some of the things that you're seeing that they're struggling with. And I know it's a lot because they have a lot of stuff in front of them.
It is a lot that our young people are struggling with. But I think, instead of focusing there, one of the things that we've been able to do is to help our young people understand that their thoughts and emotions impact their behavior. And so we really want to help and help them to use that information so that they're making better choices. Our Urban Youth Boat program, again, is really focused on helping our young people understand the principles of Kwanzaa. And the principles of Kwanzaa really talk about the importance of unity, the importance of self-determination, the importance of cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, helping them find their purpose. We, at the end of the 10 weeks that the young people go through the program, they're required to give a speech and talking about how they will use the information in changing their lives. And the other benefit of this program is that we do wraparound services. So we have therapists available for these young people if they need it, or their families. We have a family navigator that helps them with resources that they may need, whether it's a food pantry or housing or whatever they need.
So you guys do the whole thing.
We do.
I mean, you not only feed the mind, you feed the belly.
You have to. That's that holistic approach.
Yes, that is a holistic approach.
And so we just try
amazing.
to make sure that our young people are able to use that information to better their lives. We have a young man that's getting one of our awards at the gala, has been very instrumental in helping reconnect these youth to school.
Wow.
Because a lot of them stop out or drop out.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that they understand that being successful in school can put you on a path to a better life.
Yes, absolutely.
So our youth programs are really focused on not just the youth, but we have to impact the environment that they're involved in.
I love that. I love that. Well, I tell you what, this has been amazing. Is there one thing that you would want to say? We just have a couple seconds left, but come to the gala.
I mean, supporting CHD, go to our website, www.chdOmaha.org. You'll get all information that you'll need to find out how you can best support us or get involved in any of our programs and services.
I love that so much. Well, I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much. Sometimes when people are running, I really cool down once you sit, breathe. Because sometimes, you just, and so I appreciate that in you. But this is a great opportunity for our community to know what's available. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for watching.